How many of President Biden's executive orders did President Trump just cancel? That's the exact question that is exploding across government with policy nerds, Google, YouTube, Bing, you name it. And the answer is kind of shocking. Now, you know that Trump just canceled some of Biden's executive orders, all because they were signed with something called an Autopen, a robotic signature machine used by multiple presidents, including President Trump. But here's the real twist. We don't even have an official government count of what is wet signed versus Autopen signed. And we know that in one case, at least one of the canceled orders might have actually been protecting national security. So let's break this down because it's way messier than it sounds. To understand what Trump canceled, we first need to understand what he targeted. President Trump issued a new executive action declaring that every Biden executive order signed using an Autopen is now revoked. No specific policies, no selected orders, an entire category gone. And yes, the Autopen is real. Think the presidential signing Roomba. It's legal, it's been used for decades, and it's authorized by the Department of Justice. But here's where it gets weird. The Federal Register does not track Autopen signatures. It only posts a picture of the signature, looks at it, says, yep, that's a signature, no label, no metadata. So nobody officially knows how many of Biden's executive orders were robot signed. So if the government can't tell us, who can? Well, enter in the only public attempt to count Autopen usage coming from the Heritage Foundation's Oversight Project. According to them, Biden issued 164 executive orders, 58 of which were signed by an Autopen. And the timeline is kind of crazy. It looks like this. The first 18 months of Biden's presidency, all wet signatures. After July 15th, 2022, every executive order for the rest of 2022 was signed by Autopen. In 2023, 16 out of 24 executive orders were signed by Autopen. 2024, 14 out of 19 were Autopen signed. And then in 2025, nearly 100% of everything that came out of the White House was signed by Autopen. Again, these numbers are not official, but they're the only numbers anyone has. So now we get to the big question everyone's really Googling and thinking about. Is it legal to cancel another president's executive orders? Here's the straightforward part. Yes. Let me say it again. Yes. Any president can rescind or replace any previous president's executive orders. That authority is well established and has been used by every modern administration, including the Biden administration. But here's the messy part. Here's where it gets complicated. Trump didn't cancel specific executive orders. He canceled every executive order based on how it was signed. Is that legal? Well, technically, yes. A president can decide the criteria for revoking any executive order, but practically, well, this is most likely headed straight for court. And the reasons, well, there's really two. Autopen signatures are legally valid. A 2005 DOJ legal opinion explicitly states that if a president authorizes someone or a device to apply his signature, it counts. Number two, well, courts might need to determine whether method of signing is a lawful basis for cancellation. The courts have already approved that a Autopen signature is legal as long as the president has instructed the person to do it. However, there's never been a case about canceling executive orders based on the whole cohort of them coming together. So Trump's move isn't illegal, but it's definitely kind of an uncharted legal territory. And the stakes aren't just procedural. One of the canceled orders was actually pretty significant. Inside those 58 canceled executive orders is one many experts, including myself, think should stay. Executive Order 14093, Biden's commercial spyware restriction. This order banned federal agencies from using commercial spyware if it's tied to a hostile foreign intelligence service, human rights abuses, hacking of journalists or activists, or foreign governments targeting U.S. officials. It forced agencies to vet vendors and track their surveillance tools, whether waivers only applied for rare emergency uses. If Trump's Autopen cancellation wipes out every order in that 58 EO category, this spyware protection disappears with it. Which brings us to the real question. Is this fight really about how the orders were signed? Is it more political? Or is a question about what these orders actually did? Let me know what you think down below, and don't worry, this video is being signed off by me, not with my Autopen. Thanks for watching.